And take this off. Boom.
There we go. We're live. It's pretty much officially fight month.
It's a month, 4 weeks. It's
a month out. So cheers, everybody. And yeah, Rob Pico, weekends off, playing the next poof. Yeah, we need a new commercial for the front of this. So
I like Pico. I see in the suit now. I take it you're not working at the auto body shop anymore. We're in the suit every day. But
where am I going to get my car worked on?
I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's just in a sales job now. And that's why he has to wear a suit every day. But yeah, man, this past week, since we were on the last week, we had a great show last week. We announced some fights. We do have the full fight card announced, some catch up on the week. Catch up. Hold on. Let's see what Pico said. What's up, doggies? What's up, Willie? What's going on, Sean? Couple catch ups from the week, from this past week. We did announce a few fights last week on the show. We have dropped the poster this week with all the graphics. We also dropped the tickets.
Tickets are in on sale.
Tickets are in. They're on sale. There you go. There is one of the banner ads. I'll see if I can get you guys the poster up here for those who may or may not have seen it yet. So we got the poster. All the graphics are out. Tickets are out. There's the poster if you missed it. A little actually, Andy and I were here last Tuesday.
Watching your process of going through all the formats
we had the show, and we just, Andy got to sit on the design process, and we were just kind of
I've been on.
He's done it before, but
times, yeah.
He was like, "Hey, what about this?" And then I'm like, I was thinking about saving this and kind of doing red, white, and blue for a July show, but it just kind of struck me, and that was the picture that I have in mind. A lot of what I do, I think I've shared in my process before, is usually I'll look through all the photos from the previous show. You'll notice, unless it's a poster theme like Barrett and Giannetti that I see over here in the corner of our office, where it's the fighter base that are on the card, typically my process is I always look at the last fight card, so K-Shot 69. I look through all the pictures, and I grab 2 or 3 that kind of strike me and, kind of get the juices flowing. I kind of hone in on the photo. And then I'll kind of go look kind of like a Pinterest board, I guess, for lack of a better word. You start looking at ideas, and I'm like, I kind of like this one, kind of like that one. And then I meld it. And Andy was part of the process, and he helped me kind of land on the carnival theme.
Yeah, I've been part of the process a few times over the years. It's fascinating to watch, to say the least. The amount of, like you said, creative juices flowing as you just pick the right designs, and the critique of each one that doesn't fit the picture, and then mixing and matching, and it's the level of meticulousness is beyond my comprehension, but it's fascinating to sit over the shoulder, and glad I was able to help this time.
Yeah,
because you could have been there for hours. You literally could have been there until the sun came up, just floating through Pinterest reels.
I think that night I went home. I was up to like 4 a.m. designing it, and then boom, we dropped it.
I saved you a day.
So there you go. I appreciate that everybody likes it. This was a little different of a theme, and I know I spend time. You're like, "Ooh, Mike, it's a fucking poster. Like, get over it." But like, if you understand, for me, there's just so much that kind of comes out of the poster, and there's been such a love-hate with our posters. For me, like, there's been times where I'm like, I'm done fucking designing posters. It's such
you've been saying it for years.
Let me pick our 6 favorite posters
and
then just use them every January. It's the same poster. And I was about to do that a few years ago, and then I just kind of was like, I feel truly that people like seeing a new design every time. And then when I get comments like you guys, how much you enjoy it, it's like, all right, you know what?
There's been a couple like repeat-ish ones, but not too often.
And then the other thing that they don't understand is that like everything jumps off from that point.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the matchup banners, the splash pages for the broadcast, the beer cans, which is also another fun level of incorporating like just so many
Every
things.
single event is unique.
Yeah, it just jumps off.
Yeah.
So
fuck the format.
The poster is kind of big, and it also, for me, it kind of makes it like, all right, cool, the show's here. This like gets me in show mode. Like, all right, the poster dropped. it's fucking go time now.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely feel that it reverberates for sure.
So
And like I said, just happened to time out that I was part of it this time around, and yeah, it's the fighting circus this time around. I like it.
the
Cage
fight
Titan
carnival,
70.
and yeah, the fight.
What a
carnival.
shot! What a fight!
A great shot, you know, and that was kind of when I saw that photo, I was like, ah, man, this is, and then shout out to Jacob. So Liam Crowley was kind of the photographer that got the last two shots, you know, for posters. There's like the matchup banners that are going to be coming out as well. Ash Rao and Carter Whitty. Carter Whitty will be joining us.
Probably going to be some badass looking tickets too.
Yeah, so Carter Whitty's going to be joining us later, but that's one of the fight banners. I forget what I was saying, but yeah, I don't know. Like everything jumps off from the poster, and it really does. So I enjoy the poster. I enjoy that everybody likes them, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, all leads up to one night, one event, and a whole bunch of fights.
Yeah, and another thing this week. So I went over that we did the poster, the graphics. I also created a brand new website this week. So,
Yeah, so clean looking
so
too.
if you haven't already, you know, go to cagetitans.com, and I say cagetitans.com because I am excited to announce. I announced this last week.
Yeah, I think you did right at the end of it.
But
very briefly, and it's
so yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. So in 2010 or 2009 when Cage Titans was thought of, and we didn't start. Fun fact, if you haven't heard this one before, Cage Titans was originally going to be Cage Titans Fighting Organization, Cage with a K, Cage Titans Fighting Organization. So it would be KTFO. Not the fuck up. I quickly put the kibosh on that because I'm like, listen, if you're typing Cage Titans, like you got to figure out that it has a K, like somebody will land somewhere else. But anyways, when we landed on Cage Titans Fighting Championship, FC instead of Fighting Organization, because we wanted to throw back to like Pride, CageTitans.com wasn't available to purchase. So it led me to doing CageTitansFC.com. And for years, like everybody's like Cage Titans, Cage Titans, Cage Titans, Cage Titans. But whenever we talk about the website, it's like CageTitansFC.com, CageTitansFC.com. It's like ingrained in my head. CageTitansFC.com, you know, but and emphasize the FC. So 15 years later, I'm excited that we purchased Cage Titans.
We gave it a brisk.
Yeah. You know, we still own CageTitansFC.com, but we also now own CageTitans.com. And we're going to be adding more features and things to the website as well. So it's a work in progress, but it got a much needed push into this century. And the website looks pretty good.
It's looking clean.
You know, it's just, you know, it's what a website really is in today's day and age. If you want information on Cage Titans, you're going to follow us on social media. You're not going to go to the old www.whatever.com. Like, you go there for specific reasons, like buying a ticket or buying a stream. So, you know, our website is going to really just kind of,
it's modern looking.
It's like you go there to buy tickets, you go there to buy the stream, you go there to shop on the store. Like, it's not going to be flooded with, some of the other features and like cramming everything into a website. Back when I got into marketing in the early days, it was like your website had to have everything because there was no such thing as social media. It's like nowadays, you very rarely go to somebody's website. I'll tell you right now, I'm sure people watching, like, you know, I'm old. I'll go to Facebook and search something before I go to freaking their website. And, you know, I'm sure like when I want to look at something, I'll go, if I was on Instagram, I'd search a new company and I'd look at their Instagram probably before I go to their website. So yeah, but either way, long story short, there's a new website, cagetitans.com, no FC. If you still want to use the FC, I have the landing page of the FC website, Cage Titans FC, kind of saying, hey, this will be up for a little while, but eventually we're going to carry it over and everything will be under the one website. Reason being is that Cage Titans FC, though we're not going to be using that website, outdated website, there are some materials that I want to kind of pull off of that site. Because one feature that I thought was always great, and I'm going to say it and you can't even see it anymore, but one feature that I always enjoyed about our old website is that we had all 70 posters on one. Like, you could go to one part of our website and look back at Cage Titans won.
Can't do that on the new one?
No, it will, but I have to be able to pull them off that site. So I'm not going to crash that site before I pull all the information I need. But it was kind of fun to like look back over the years from 2010 to what our posters look like today and kind of, reminisce. So that was like one feature that I really enjoyed at that last site. So, but eventually Cage Titans FC, whether you type in Cage Titans FC or cagetitans.com, it'll bring you to the same new website that we have. People are like, cool, stop fucking talking about the website. Let's get some fights going. With that being said, if you go to cagetitans.com, if you click on the tab that says upcoming event, it has the full fight card. So if you want to, head on over cagetitans.com and look up the full fight card.
Ended up being what, 17?
17 fights. Breaking news on there that it's the one thing I do have to do is kind of figure out a little bit better way on the new website to display the fight card. Right now it's just a list of, A versus B. I'm going to come up with a little fancier way to kind of, the weight class and their records and kind of come up with like a nice, like formatted way. That's one thing that this new site I haven't got a chance to develop yet, which I liked about the old site a little better. But, you'll see Aiden Giuliani versus Eric Zane on the official fight card. But I'm here to let you know that not only is that on there, it is actually for the vacant lightweight Cage Titans Amateur Championship.
2 amateur title fights.
So now we have 2 amateur title fights. We got Ash Rao defending his belt against Carter Whitty. But I'm excited that this past week we tied up undefeated Aiden Giuliani taking on Eric Zane for the lightweight title. I think Sergey Parentsuko was our last Cage Titans amateur champion 2 years ago, 2+ years ago.
Yeah, the last fight against Miguel Sevens.
Yeah, so over 2 years ago. So we're dusting off the Cage Titans lightweight belt. That will be up for grabs. Aiden Giuliani, Eric Zane. Eric Zane, if you remember him last event, took out undefeated Ruben Batar. He's taking on another undefeated guy here. Eric's from Dexter MMA. They're tough as nails there. These guys, Billy Goff's training for his upcoming UFC fight. So, they're firing on all cylinders over there. And he's coming to take that goose egg from Aiden Giuliani and hopefully put that title around
devastating
his waist.
grappler in his own right. So this is going to be a barn burner right there. They both young, hungry competitors. It's going to be a fun scrap. And all these amateur title fights are just bangers from bell to bell. Stoked to be talking to Carter Whitty later tonight.
Actually, I got to send Carter Whitty the invite. I'm assuming Nick was just here and he left. So I'm assuming he didn't send Carter Whitty or Melissa Santos. Actually, he beat me. I take that back, Nick, if you're watching. I just went on. Nick did send the StreamYard to both of them. So, Nick, I take that back because I was figuring he was in the car driving home, so he didn't get a chance to send it, but he did. So we're just awaiting on. We put the invite out to Tara Wamsley, who is taking on Melissa Santos. So Melissa already confirmed she'll be calling in. Tara, she's on.
What about Ash?
But she's not.
Does Ash not have social media?
And Ash does not have social media. So we did get Carter Whitty. And shout out to Carter Whitty. Begrudgingly, he got back on social media. And we'll have to ask him because he kind of disappeared from social media. And we had to kind of give him a nudge. You're like, dude, you were the friggin' knockout of the year winner, breakout through fight of the year. You're fighting for your amateur title. Like, you got to get back on social media so we can pump you up. And look at that, right on cue. The man is here.
What's up, boys?
What's going on?
There he is, Fall River's finest. What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
How you doing, kid?
Just got back from training, beating up Aaron Hughes, my favorite activity.
He's got a fight this week. You can't beat him.
I know. I'm joking. He's got to fucking let me hear it about that later.
There you go. Listen, you got to tell him to put some respect on your name.
Breakthrough
fighter of the year, knockout fighter of the knockout of the year, and you won the runner-up. Like, we should just call this the Carter Whitty Award. You were number 1 and number 2 in voting for the knockout of the year last year.
I bet you I'll repeat it this year.
Let's go. I love that. So before you called in, that's why I love that attitude. That's why you need to be on social media, Carter. Yeah, we were joking around. You got off social media. What was that all about?
I was just spending too much time on it. Like, I would literally be like 2 hours in my bed, literally just scrolling on Instagram, looking at my knockout like 57 times. And then.
So all those video views are mostly from you then?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah. No, I was just spending too much time on it though.
All right,
I got off it for a little bit, but after that promo video that you guys made, I had to get back on it, and I'm gonna stay on it. I promise.
Hey, you gotta stay on and rack up the views on that video too. So keep just playing that in the background so we get the more
Absolutely.
views. Speaking of which, obviously the promo video, you're taking on Ash Rao. Was this somebody that you've kind of had your eye on, or was it just kind of like right place at right time? And take us through the process once you kind of heard this name.
So he won the belt right when I beat Jack Noon, the liver shot, and I watched his fight, and I was just like, this guy's game. He's got constant pressure. He's got good jiu-jitsu. And I love the grappler versus striker matchups. Like, those are my favorite type of matchups. So when I saw him fight, I was just like, I can definitely beat that guy. I can definitely win the belt. I just got to get maybe a couple more wins or a win under my belt. And, you guys all saw that next win. So here we are.
No kidding. You're certainly talking about riding momentum and capitalizing on that opportunity. It's fascinating to hear that you had your sights set on the champ, predetermined like that. And then the knockout over Dalton English was, how do you deny you're at the top of the division right there? How do you see you predicted you were going to get this shot in essence? How do you predict this fight playing out against Ash? Or like you said, the striker versus grappler matchup.
I expect him shooting a takedown, and I expect his face to hit my shin and being unconscious.
A repeat?
Boom, mic drop.
Identical repeat?
No, he's good. We'll see. It's going to be a good fight. I have good footwork. He's going to pressure. I'm going to circle. And I'm just going to put these paws on him, baby. Keto style.
I love the confidence. Let me add, I love to bring back your story, back when you started with Cage Signs. I heard, so much from Aaron and Mitch and about you coming to Cage Signs and making your debut. Obviously, this early.
Shit, froze up.
Just froze, but so you can hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of going back to your early, I heard a lot of stuff from Mitch and Aaron, and I've said this before, but for new viewers, obviously the early part of your amateur career didn't start off the way you wanted it to, right. Coming out 0-2, you churned it around, but what message do you have that when you were 0-2, for somebody who might be watching, what was going through your mind when you're 0-2? How did you stay confident and things like that to stay motivated? Because you just had such a tremendous year, and people might know Carter Whitty of the breakout fighter, fighter of the year, knockout of the year, all that guy. But there was not too long ago, you were an 0-2 fighter. And where was your motivation and how did that work for you that could be helpful to another fighter who could be watching today?
Just staying in the gym, man, sparring. Every single day I'm working with Mitch, and you guys all know how good Mitch is. And if I can train with him in the gym, I'm sure I can hang with amateur fighters too. So yeah, just stay in the gym and staying confident. Those first two fights, it was weird. I was having a tough time transitioning from kickboxing to MMA. I had so many kickboxing fights, so it was weird just to get that distance down and stuff. But yeah, man, just keep training. The confidence should come from the training room. You can't fake that confidence, you defend a single leg from a really good wrestler and boom, you got that confidence right there. That's real. That's real confidence, not just fake stuff. You manifest it. Nah, you just gotta train and get those rounds in the gym as often as you can.
Speaking of, the round.
Y'all froze up again.
I can't tell if it's us or you, but either way, speaking of regiment and the training that you're going through, you got guys like Jorgen, Mitch, Aaron Hughes, Jordan Tavares, Tara Wamsley, who was on the last card. But talking about the upper guys like Jorgen and Mitch, what's the motivation and how excited are you? And what's the vibe off the gym, when you're training with killers like that, competing at the highest level?
Oh, it's extremely exciting. When I go and spar Mitch, it's I get more nervous doing that than when I do for my fights. It's a great vibe in the gym though. Like everyone feeds off each other. I just started now. Like before this fight, before my last fight, like I've only trained at Regiment. Like I never went like somewhere else and cross trained. I like just now started going to Lausanne's and stuff, and like getting different looks. So
No
I'm
kidding.
excited. You guys are gonna see some new stuff. Hopefully it goes longer than 12 seconds this time.
You never got round one.
Was it 14 seconds or 12?
12.
I'm gonna make mental note, never get that wrong. Otherwise, you're gonna eat a shin to that skull. But that's actually amazing. I never knew that. So, like, Regiment was the only mat that you had ever trained on. I'd seen you fight kickboxing before. I'd actually trained with you at Regiment before, and
yes, sir.
I never knew that you hadn't ventured out for any other looks whatsoever. That's a scary feature to think of what you're going to be bringing in the future. Now that you're getting just new accents and angles and different looks, just training more so, just different bodies.
Different looks.
What I know you can't explain too much, but shed more light on how that experience has been and how you're blossoming into the newfound love for cross training.
Well, it's good. Like I said, just getting new looks, new techniques. I've been training with Mr. Main Event himself, Jay Perrin, a little bit at Lausanne's and Miguel, and they've been helping me out a lot. So, like I said, you can't get much better work than Mitch, honestly, around here. And I remember at one time at Regiment, like Chris Mutino was there, Aaron, Mitch, obviously. I mean, Chris Mutino was really the only guy that I mentioned, but
you don't have to mention anybody besides Chris and Mitch. Those two guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Let me ask you this, just from my experience. You know, I remember. I'm curious how you feel about cross training and getting out into other gyms. Like, did you find yourself gaining another level of confidence now that you're cross training? Because, you know, just to kind of put it in perspective, like I remember me when I was first training the fight, and I was, you know, again, a long fucking time ago, but you know, I was in the gym with guys who were fighters, and I'm getting beat up every day, and I'm like, I fucking suck, man. I'm getting my ass kicked by these guys. And then it wasn't until I started Cage Titans and I started, like, I would go to a gym and they're like, hey, Mike, you know, you fought before, you want to get on the mats? And I would get on the mats and train with other guys. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm not actually that fucking bad. So, like, did you have that happen? Because, like, I'm assuming and being full of respectful, like, if you're getting your ass kicked by Mitch every day, it's like, dude, am I even that good? What the fuck am I doing? This guy's a superhero. But then you go to another gym and you're training with some guys and you're like, wait a minute, I'm pretty decent. Have you had that kind of revelation?
Yeah. It's just like the way I think about it is you train with the same guys every day. They're going to pick up on your moves and your muscle memory and stuff, everything you do. So, and you go to a new gym and they don't know what the fuck you're going to do. So, you know, it's good to try out new stuff, learn new things, all that.
One thing they know to look out for is the liver shots from you, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry.
Wait till they start calling out your moves. That's when you know you're in fucking trouble. They're like, yeah, Carter Whitty's coming today. And they're like, as you're sparring, the coach is like, just cover your liver. Just cover your liver.
Haven't had that happen to me yet, but I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it's coming.
Well, before we let you go, I appreciate you, calling in. And, you talked about it a little bit, but, kind of break down this matchup with Ash and like kind of what are some of the strengths you see without giving away your, game plan or anything, but like what's some strengths you see and kind of what you think you can exploit.
He's got good jiu-jitsu, good pressure, but it's nothing I've never seen before. I hit hard and I hit fast, and he ain't ready for what's coming. I know that. Pretty confident, and for good reason.
Hey, listen, man, after the year you had last year, honestly, like you have every reason to be confident and I'm excited to see what you bring to the table on March 22nd, because I'm sure you've only leveled up since then,
Sure.
which is crazy to hear. Like your striking is insane at the amateur level, and compared to the guys. And what makes me excited about this matchup is because if, as you know, you watched it yourself, you saw Kane Schneider, who was a heavy striker and heavy-handed, and you kind of saw how that you kind of have a game plan blueprint that worked to some extent, but then obviously Ash was the victor, so it didn't work fully. You can kind of
it was a close fight too. It was a really close fight. Yeah,
insane. So you kind of see it. Well, I don't got anything else for you, Andy. What else you got for him?
Nothing, man. This is just one of those. The Bantamweight title fights have always been legendary. Some of the names that have held that amateur title have gone on to do incredible, great things in the sport of mixed martial arts, and I couldn't think of two more deserving young fighters who are going in and fighting for it, and just super stoked for this matchup. Thanks for your time calling in. Actually, last question that did pop in my head and I forgot to ask. You still getting rounds in with Demora?
Oh, absolutely. Demora, that's one of my main training partners, dude. He actually fought Ash.
Exactly. That's the map that I just did in my head over the course of the conversation. So how's that been going? I'm sure that's some valuable insight.
Oh yeah. Don't worry.
Little B, man.
You guys
Little
will
B.
see. You guys will see.
Good people. Speaking of training partners, before I let you go, I know I said I had nothing more.
Welcome to Table Titans. This is how it happens.
I don't want to keep you too long, and this is more for fun. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're very tired from beating up Aaron Hughes to them at training.
Absolutely.
So I want you to be able to get to. I only say that because Aaron just dropped a comment, and I know he's watching. So I know you're very tired from beating up Aaron Hughes today, so we won't keep you long. But the floor is yours. You know, tell the fans come out and see you, or thank anybody that you have in particular.
Thank all the boys at Regiment. Come watch me fight, man. I make it exciting. I'm not gonna crotch sniff all fucking fight. I can promise you that. I'm gonna put these paws on them, baby. Aikido style. Y'all ain't ready for it. Promise.
All right, my man. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Carter. And we wish you all the best through training camp. I'm actually going to DM you after this because tickets came in today. I'll mail some out to you and get them to you this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Keep those DMs open now that you're back on social media, kid. Good to talk to you, Carter.
Later, boys.
Easy. We'll see you.
All right, man. Good dude.
Kid.
I love it. Because he's not really a social media guy, so you don't really, and then usually at weigh-ins is when I only kind of get a chance to see him, and so it's very quick conversation. It's great catching up with guys and kind of seeing the fighter. I do remember that he was a hockey player too, so I have a soft spot for hockey players. That was my sport.
Yep.
I remember his first fight that he was going to fight for us. He fell on fucking ice playing like pond hockey.
That's right.
And he had to pull out of his debut, and it was crazy. And that's when I found out he was a hockey player. So hockey players are built different.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely wired a little different than other athletes, I'd say. But yeah, it was easy for you to forgive that.
Yeah.
Hockey injury, no problem.
Yeah, of course. We've all been there. Yeah. But I'm excited for this fight. And again, I just love Carter Whitty's story. And we've heard of it in the past. Richie Santiago, is another guy. He started his career off 0-3, and it was like, when he was on the circuit fighting as an amateur, it was like, it was great for other fighters to hear that, like, Rob Font, he just fought this weekend in the UFC. Another perfect example. He made his debut for Cage Titans in 2011. And guess what? He lost. He lost to Nate Osis. I'll never forget this. And this guy's top 5 in the UFC, for so many years. And it's like, he lost his Cage Titans debut. And he lost, it was his first fight of his career. Like, you see this guy at the top and he's in the UFC. And it's like, I know everybody wants to praise that, but and I know some people don't want to talk about losses, but it's like, that's an important message for fighters. Like, Rob Font lost his first fight. Richie Santiago when he was fighting, he was 0-3, and then he came back and went on 4 fights and wins 4 fights in a row, wins an amateur title, went on to the Contender Series, had a great pro career. In this sport, especially for amateurs, you're not defined by a loss as an amateur. It's about getting experience and I just, again, I don't like to harp on it, be like, hey, you lost some fights, but it's just like, no, the message is important because it's like, dude, you're a fucking superstar now, and everybody thinks you're the cream of the crop. So the message is like, yeah, man, listen, I had some stumbles, but you stay in the gym. I love this message. You grind, you fucking work, and if you're confident, it's gonna come. And
it's like you go ahead and try and motivate me about. I guess the closest thing would be the Sox in 04. down 0-3, and then they come back and win it. And it's like, but no matter what, like I'll never know what it's like to win a World Series game.
Yeah.
But everyone's gotten their ass kicked.
Yeah. That's you were 0-2 before you.
I am 0-2. I still haven't won an MMA
Well, you
fight.
won a Muay Thai.
Yeah,
fight.
I won a Muay Thai fight, but but fuck, maybe I got to get back in there and
Maybe
get on
you
that
need-
bandwagon. Yeah, shit. All right, got to
Somebody
stop
said
eating
no
this pasta.
audio, but I think I'm getting audio. I see my bars jumping. You sure no audio? Anybody else listening to us saying?
Oh no, I can't get back in there. My knee just cracked. I'm too old for this shit.
Does anybody else not have an audio? Let me see. Let me turn it
Oh,
up.
I hope it cut off before.
I can hear me saying that.
Yep.
So, John O'Connell, turn your volume up on your phone.
Yeah, it's you, not us.
Yeah. So, John O'Connell, turn up your volume because I'm getting audio. But yeah, I just think it's, listen, man, whether you still got to win in the cage after going 0-2, and how do you keep the motivation to keep coming back? So I think that's great about Carter, and look at the fucking 360 this kid's career did. He was 1-2 as an amateur in Muay Thai, 0-2 as a fucking MMA fighter, and then bam, viral knockout back to back, breakout fighter of the year, knockout fighter of the year. Fucking kid's just he's on top of the world. But let's make no mistake about it. Ash Rao, this fucking guy's lights out.
Oh no, yeah, I was.
I know we're talking. Carter's on the show, so
he's
we're
on the show,
up,
and Ash isn't on social media, so I'd love to get him on and chat with him on here. But
he fucking lives in Quincy. He lives 5
Let's
minutes
get him
from
right the fuck in.
He lives 5 minutes from here.
All right, we'll
have to go hijack him.
Yeah, we'll get in touch with Ash Rao and get him on. But yeah, just speaking instead, here's a kid that already knows. We've already talked about how he fought at lightweight, went to a draw with Miguel Severson, undefeated lightweight right now at the pro rank. So that's just how tough and durable he is to be fighting up 2 weight classes, go the distance in an all-out war. And then the time in between fights that he had, it was very difficult to find him opponents.
Dude, Ash Rao.
Fights would fall out
week
of several times. He'd show up on weight, knowing his opponent's not there, just in case he had a glimmer of hope to fill in as a replacement.
I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you did.
He's done that several times, I want to say. More than once.
I remember messaging his coach being like, hey, did you not tell Ash his fight was off? He's like, no, I told him. I'm like, because he shows up at weigh-ins. I'm like, what the fuck's he doing? Now I'm uncomfortable because I'm like, does he know his fight's off? Does this kid not know his fight's off? And then his coach was like, yeah, he said he still wants to come and weigh in. I'm like, I don't have a fight for him. He's like, no, he put his mind to doing this fight camp, being at 135 on this date, and he's the type of guy that he's going through it. And even though he's not fighting, he made a commitment that he's going to show up at 135. Very Tony Ferguson-esque.
Yeah, it was an inspirational display of discipline.
Yeah.
And from that point till flash forward within a year, he is still undefeated, fighting and winning the title, and has just that's what he brings to the table, is that just ultra disciplined approach, lights out game plan. He's got the dangerous submission skills that he looks for, constant pressure, always mixing it up, and just seems to find ways to be in total control of the fight. So it's going to be a total clash of styles between Ash Rao and the chaos that Carter Whitty is willing to bring, and the explosivity that he has, and the ability to shut your body down at any point in the fight. Ash has that capable style to mitigate that kind of approach and attack and nullify that explosivity, find his own.
Because he nullified it against Kane Schneider, because Kane Schneider was another big, heavy-handed striker.
An absolute dog who didn't have any quit through 5 rounds. So we got 5 rounds to work between these 2 guys. So
Melissa Santos messaged me at 8:50. I just saw it. She's going to be calling in at 9. So we got about 3 minutes till Melissa. So anybody that's tuning in that's been waiting for Melissa, she'll be calling in at 9 o'clock. She just sent me a quick update. But yeah, Carter Whitty, Ash Rao, actually Gage Luby. What's up, Gage? Shout out to Gage Luby. Speaking of guys, and he's a great motivation piece as well. He picked up his first professional win this weekend by knockout. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it correctly. I thought I read the social media post in the video. He won by knockout in a pro kickboxing K1 match this past week in New York at ECF. Gage Luby's a guy who's fought for cage titles a few times, always come up short. Like he's kind of got dragged over the coals. And I say this, all due respect to Gage, but he had, at one point it was on record, he was like 0-8 or something. And, when people brought him to the cage, it's like, why is this guy fighting? And he was a guy that was just like, I like to compete. And if I win or lose, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to be in the gym on Monday and training. And he won after he fought for Cage Titans a few times. And they were like, listen, he needs to do some things if he's going to be able to fight in Massachusetts. He won his next amateur fight by knockout out in New York. Then he went pro and he lost his pro debut. I think he might have lost 2 pro fights. And then he just picked up his first pro victory by knockout. So, why am I giving the stage to him? It's congratulations to him, man. Like he's just another example that kind of piggybacks off what we were talking about, Carter Whitty. It's like he's doing all the right things. And if you're doing the right things, good things will come to you eventually. And he picked up his first victory via knockout. So congrats.
And someone looking for their first victory as we're talking about this.
Great segue. That's what they call it in the business. Segue.
We're talking about the message of perseverance, someone who's motivated to get that first Cage Titans win. She does have a MMA win. Melissa,
fucking
Santos,
unbelievable win. I think it was like 20-second knockout or something.
Nastiness.
And she'll have to tell us about that. But you're right. She said that to me after the last fight. She's like, I'm coming back to get my fucking Cage Titans victory. And here she is.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's going on? You're not up in the air today.
No, I'm grounded. I'm grounded today.
Are you allowed to tell us what you post? What do you work at? Delta, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I was like, there you go.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if we're allowed to say what airline, but I think you post.
I'm good. As long as I'm being responsible, I should be okay to say where I'm working. If I'm doing stuff I shouldn't be, then
You're not taking.
I think you guys froze for a second. I didn't catch that.
No, that's us. So Melissa, just so you know, if we freeze, you are still live. So it seems like when we have guests on, the internet's fighting with each other. So sometimes it's deciding if it's on our internet or yours. So there might be a split second that we disappear, but we'll come right back. So if you're talking and it looks like we're frozen, just keep talking and it'll pick right back up. But anyways, we just had Carter Whitty on, and he was, he started his career off 0-2, and then he had an amazing 2024. Your career is not super similar. It's similar within Cage Titans because you haven't picked up a victory yet, but like you exploded on the scene in your first fight. You picked up this knockout, which was incredible. Talk us through kind of like the early start of your career.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'm not intimidated at all by my losses. I know that that's part of the journey, and I'm still new. I'm still an amateur. I'm still getting things going. My first fight, I don't know. I just came in confident as I have been for all my other fights, and just the game plan worked, and that doesn't always happen. And so you just get in there and you try to execute every time. I'd love to roll that back and have another big moment and a big knockout, but I'm just happy to get in there.
Speaking of that, I got to say, we were also talking about amateurs and talking about like Rob Font, who just fought this weekend. He lost his amateur debut with Cage Titans, and he's a top guy in the UFC. We talked about some other guys that have come up short, but amateur really is about getting experience. And you've had such a wealth of experience in your Cage Titans. You've gone to decision both times in highly competitive fights. Erica Valentin, who's now an undefeated pro.
She 10 amateur fights when you took her on.
Yeah,
second amateur fight.
What has the experience been for you? And speak about the cage time that you're getting, and maybe, somebody who's watching, like how important that is into your development as a fighter, just getting the cage time.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, super. I say that all the time. I'm like, I love that I've gone all 3 rounds with some tough opponents because I know that I'm game for it. I know that I can stay in there and stick it out 3 rounds. And I've gained so much knowledge, like being able to, look at my catch.
I love it.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, that's Oliver, by the way. He's trying to get some screen time. But anyway, I think it's it's given me so much, like to be able to go to your corner and come back, and it's made me so present in the moments of each
Mm.
fight, that I don't think I obviously didn't have the chance to in my first fight. So it's been great. Jake makes jokes all the time. He's like, how's that second round feel? How's that third round feel? I might get more cage time before before he does. But I love it. I think it keeps me sharp. It's just I enjoy that I've gone the rounds that I have with some pretty tough opponents.
Yeah, serious, valuable lessons there, going the distance and learning how to maintain and control that adrenaline ride of a fight and mitigate that adrenaline dump. And you're talking about the caliber of opponents that you're fighting early in your career. Valentin, 10 fights into her career. Alyssa Tortora, highly regarded, never could get anybody to fight her based on her grappling pedigree and whatnot. Devastating finisher. You're able to survive that, find successes in the fights, and just it's truly inspirational. The motivation you have and to attain that first win. It's kind of been the theme of the show.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's a lot of footage to be able to go back and watch too, which I really appreciate. Like, you got a big finish and it's cool, but not a lot to look back and kind of adjust. With me being so new and so amateur, it is nice to be able to go back and be like, oh, look what I did here. And oh, look at the missed opportunity here. Because you just, you don't think the same when you're in the ring for sure.
Yeah.
So you're big on the film study then. You sound like you're diligent in doing all the homework and
Oh yeah.
learning from
I'm yelling at myself from the other side of the screen.
I was
Get
gonna
the
say you have a lot
underhook.
of.
Why are you not going for the underhook?
I was gonna say you have a lot of downtime. I'm assuming up in the air to watch some videos.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Just because it's fun, and we'll get back to the fight business. I always, for
Mhm.
Table Titans, it's always for me about getting people to know the person. We can talk X's and O's about fights all day, but it is kind of cool and unique that you work for the airline. What brought you to that, that profession, and tell us a little bit about it.
It's definitely a different career. I had thought about it years and years ago. But as you guys know, I'm a mom. I had my daughter very young, and so I just was like, oh my gosh, I would never leave her for like periods of time. And then it kind of just came back up about 2 years ago, and I'm just in a different place. She's self-efficient, much older now. I had a different support system. Jake owns his own business. He's here all the time. My parents they're around all the time. So I just have such a good support system. And I was like, hey, like, do I give this a shot and try this job that I've always wanted to do? And it's brought so many benefits to my family, to me. I mean, we all have flight benefits, and it truly has given me so much flexibility. I mean, when I'm home, and all I'm doing is training and being a mom. And when I'm gone for a 2-day trip. I'm back, and I'm back for 4 days just training and being a mom. So it's really been, it's a really beautiful job to have. It has so many perks. It's definitely been an adjustment though, like making sure that I'm on track and making sure that I can follow a strict fight camp and make sure that I'm doing my due diligence even when I'm not here to be in the gym with my training partners.
If you ever stay on an overnight on one of the trips, you ever take that opportunity to find a gym and wherever you're staying and try to sneak some rounds in?
I'd like to do that more. It's a bit tough. I'm usually only in a place for about 24 hours or so, and you do have to be careful about what gyms you choose and where you cross train. And so I do try at some places, that there's some good options, and Jake has a lot of connections all over the place, so he knows some spots. But a little while ago, when he was down training in Vegas, I was trying to get over to Syndicate. That that would be a goal at some point. Lots of killers over there, and Jake gets in there every once in a while. So that's definitely on my radar to try to do. But I got to find some gyms and start making a list so that when I'm somewhere, I know where to go. I got to do
So
some
when
recon.
do you have a set route that you typically always travel?
It's different every month. So we have like a bidding process. So you bid the month prior. And honestly, the more seniority you have, the more you could bid for just about anything you want. The place layovers you want, the days of the trips you want, 1 days, 2 days, 3 days. You can really dissect your schedule pretty much. It's just all seniority based. So whatever you hold is what you get, and then you find out a month in advance. So
Nice.
What's the hot ticket spot?
oh, I don't know. There's so many good spots. I'm a foodie, so I love Vegas because there's always a good food spot, and you can just walk around and there's something to see always. A weird one is San Antonio, Texas. It's always hot, always good food. Other than that, I've done some cool ones. I took Jake over to Dublin for one of my work trips, and we had a blast there. We, like, bar hopped like 2 a.m. So that was pretty cool. But
Oh man.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Andy's companies are
Yeah, well,
is
basically,
from-
I've been to Dublin. Yeah, I almost didn't make it back from Dublin, but yeah, I went to Dublin.
Dublin's a good time.
Well, let me clear it up. So we hear Jake a lot. This is Jake the Gorilla Pilla, who is your fiance, boyfriend, also fighter.
Yeah.
Because somebody might be watching, like I know who you're talking about, and people that know you, but some other people might. Who's this Jake dude? He's fighting this weekend. He's fighting twice in the
Look
same
him
month.
up.
Yeah, look him up. If you don't know now, you know. Look him up. But he has a
Oh.
big fight this week too, and I was talking to him the other.
You guys froze. I didn't hear the end of that.
So how is it being with a fighter as your counterpart? How is it with you guys inside the household? How do you guys feed off each other inside the gym? I'm assuming at times you might get on each other's nerves, but is it overall positive?
Oh yeah, it's definitely catch-22, right? It's at the end of the day where relationships get tough, but at the end of the day, it's a blessing more than anything else. I have a coach that I can ask questions at any time. We've come back at the house and he's done mitt work for me here. I have unlimited rounds with a very skilled fighter in BJJ black belt, so I'm not complaining at all. He definitely is the reason for a lot of my success. So for sure, it's a blessing more than anything else. But it can be a catch-22. It can definitely get on each other's nerves. But then we put on gloves, right?
Just
Violence is never the answer, but sometimes it's the only solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for fun, has the conversation ever gone to? You might be the boss at the fucking gym, but I'm the boss here. Has that ever come out of your mouth?
Oh, yeah. You know what? We have that battle quite a bit. I don't think either one of us knows who the winner of that battle is. We'll keep fighting that one.
Nice. I don't understand this question, but I'm going to throw it out there because somebody asked. Lisa Hargis. She said, "How do you adjust fighting on land from being in the air? Does it bother you at all?" I don't know what that means, but maybe
No,
it means
it doesn't bother me. I will say it's been an adjustment. My kickboxing fight and my first MMA fight, I was not flying yet. And so my last two fights have just been different camps as far as like making sure that I am able to get workouts in when I'm not in the gym and I'm like, at some hotel gym. And then we've had to take it into account on, weight cut week 2. You do bloat when you're in the air, and girls especially were, all over the place with bloat and all that kind of stuff. So that's been the only adjustment, is just making sure that I have a schedule in place. Even when I'm away, I'm, checking in with my coaches and making sure I'm getting workouts in. Otherwise, no, I'm just flying somewhere and then coming back home and itching to get back in the gym.
nice. So, she actually competed.
Lost you guys again. Sorry.
What's
Not
some
hearing you.
things? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
What's some things that you took away? Because obviously you guys fought on the same card. What's some things that you saw from her fight that maybe you're taking away from it that you can kind of apply to your strategies for this fight?
So yeah, we were in the back room together. I think she had a good fight. Yeah, I don't know. I watched her fight from the back room, and then I went ahead and rewatched it too. And she's definitely durable. She made it out of that first round, and she Ariana really came for her. So she's definitely durability, and coming into that second round and getting the win, lots of props to her. But I think we're just gonna have a good time. We gave congrats to each other, on just a good fight at the end of after we were both done fighting. So I think it'll be cool vibes, and we'll just get in there and have a good time.
Did you have any inklings when, like, Jake, either you mentioned to Jake you're looking to fight again, or he said, hey, do you want to fight? Did you have any inklings that this name might have been the name that kind of flew off the desk?
I knew probably one of the girls from that night. I think it was cool for I think pretty much all of us on that card, obviously aside from the pros, but we're all strawweights. So it's not often all of us are in one spot getting matchups in general. So I knew that one of those names might be swinging around. So I honestly just found it as an opportunity. I was like, oh, cool. Like maybe somebody's ready to get right back in there with me. And so I was like, yeah, maybe somebody's game and ready to go. It was a plus for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Trust me, I say this very publicly. If I never matched a female fight or a male heavyweight fight in my life again, I'd be happy, because it's the most difficult thing. And you could probably, as much as you hate that I say it, you could probably appreciate it being on the fighter side, because it's damn near impossible to get fucking fights.
Oh yeah. The minute I saw there was a couple strawweights, I was like, ooh, all right, cool. Like that means, a couple of us are all here right now. That means a couple of us might be ready to fight again. Like there's a couple matchups in this room. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Opportunity.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
Well, I appreciate your time calling in tonight. Good luck to Jake fighting this weekend.
Sure.
We wish you all the best through fight camp, and the floor is yours. Anything else you want to say to anybody? Thank anybody before we let you run?
Just thanks to my family, my teammates over at Gorilla Fitness, all the other gyms I shoot over to, Burgess, FAF. It's going to be a big W this weekend for Jake. In a couple weeks, hopefully I'll be raising my hand for another W and get some tickets and come watch me fight, because the girls always put on a show. We're trying to get in there and bang. So get some tickets, come see me. That's all.
There you go. I love it. You know what?
Always a
Absolutely.
war.
The girl, in 15 years of doing Cage Titans, it's inevitable that every time I match a card, somebody will be like, any girl fights on this one? Any girl fights? Any girl fights? Any girl fights? And last fight we had three. And it was like,
yeah, it was stacked for girls.
The year before, I think we had 3 girl fights the entire year. So
we're off to a good start.
We're off to a good start, and we appreciate you ushering in, and then also being, motivation for other girls that are out there. The more you see that the female fights on the cards.
Yeah, of course. Happy to get out there. Happy to fight for you guys. And always thankful to be on the card.
All right, Matt. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you, Jake, in the background, and thank you to the cat for making the appearance.
Later, Oliver. Take it easy, Melissa.
All right. Was Oliver, you picked up the name of the cat?
I remember it because it was from Oliver and Company, and it was an orange cat like from Oliver and Company. So that's why it was easy for me to remember. I'm a name guy, you know that.
And you're a cat person because you have a cat. Right?
I do have a cat.
And you have a dog now.
Yeah, I do have a dog now too. So that's it's learning experience. It's been fun, but yeah, Melissa Santos looking for that first win, and yeah, it's been the theme of the day: resilience and mental fortitude, coming back, overcoming adversity, and early results in the cage. And there's another example of it right there. Melissa Santos looking for her first Cage Titans win over Tara Walmsley.
Tara, I'm mad at you. I sent you a message. We're trying to get you on the show, girl.
And if not this week, then next week, because I don't think I've talked to her since, because her last fight against Ariana Bucaccio,
I would love to get her on.
That was one of the sickest comebacks I've ever fucking seen. Ariana Bucaccio beat the shit out of Tara Walmsley in that first round.
No mince words.
There was not, how else could you? She fucking dug as deep as I've ever seen a fighter dig in that cage, and just knowing how long she spent training and preparing for that moment, and to just not quit and go in and get the finish the way she did, it was one of the craziest fucking comebacks I've ever seen in my life, because it's just, no mincing words there. It is what it is. She came back in that second round and won the fight. It was insane. The turn, the 180 degree turn.
I would love to talk to her about that.
And Bucaccio is a promising young fighter. She's
another one. She's started out 0-2 now.
It's like I said, the theme of the day. It's just
resilience,
overcoming adversity, and the resilience in this fight game. It's a brutal sport. But yeah, I'm super excited to see Melissa Santos and Tara throw down.
What I'm going to do is,
especially just knowing the level of heart that they both possess. There's just going to be it's going to be a dogfight with neither lady saying quit, and you could just be assured they're going to steal the show.
I'll hit up Tara again and maybe try to.
That's all.
Brian, actually, if she was probably training with him tonight, that's why I was trying to get Tara to call in, because you're right, we haven't talked to her, but like I'd love to just like, after talking to Carter and obviously talking to Melissa and talking about Gage Luby getting a knockout, like, you know, Tara wanted to fight for so fucking long. Like, you know, for years, I remember, you know, and you know, back when Devin Carrier
Rockin' Team Carrier,
you know, was like alive and competing. There was, you know, when they dated, like seeing her at the shows and such a fan, and then trying to, you know, just like she's wanted to fight for so long. She's put her name in so many times. And I gotta like just want to talk to her about it. Cause like, you're right. Like at any point in that first round, and maybe Brian would be able to talk, but like, was there any point in time, like I wanted this for so fucking long, dude, I just get my ass kicked in this first round. Fuck, what was I thinking? And she could have probably packed it in and she didn't. No, I'd love to kind of talk through with her, like kind of what was going on in that moment, what was said in between rounds. You know, how did she dig deep to kind of find that motivation? Because again, like with Carter Whitty, like I asked him, it's like, dude, you were 0-2, like, you know, but you knew you had the skill. And he was like, I just kept getting back in the gym and grinding, you know, but like for Tara, it's like, you know, I'd be like, you kind of got what you wish for. You got in a fight. And then you finally get what you wish for. And it's like, damn, did I really want this? As she's getting her ass beat, like again, and we say it super respectfully, but like, as you said it, like she was getting beat up. And is there any point in time where she's like, fuck, I wanted this so bad. I kind of don't want it right now. Like, fuck, I need a way out. But she didn't even look for a way out. And she pushed forward.
Oh, it was insane.
I just loved her to talk us through that.
Yeah, that was literally one of the sickest comebacks I've called with my own two eyes. And it's just, yeah, it was truly an inspirational performance. So that's why I'm even tenfold more stoked for this fight, just because, as we heard Melissa for the past few minutes, the level of heart that she brings to the table, the amount of fuck you she has the word quit. It just it's what separates this sport from anything else. Yeah. And I can say things like, oh, you're getting the shit kicked, because I've had the shit kicked out of me. We've all been in there. And it's just that's what makes it the best sport in the world. It's as primal as it gets. And also,
I know her on a personal level.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I remember
going away to Vegas with her when you know, we went to the Ultimate Fighter.
And she was talking about fighting.
She was out there with Richie for the Contender Series when we were all out in Vegas. And then just knowing her struggles and her travels, you know, from gym to gym, and then like I'm sure there was rumblings and maybe heard it from people like, oh, she shouldn't be fighting or whatever. And she was confident. I remember meeting her for her tickets and how excited she was. And I remember she was like, I was going to fight this state champ wrestler girl because I just don't give a fuck and I want to fight. And I'm like, dude, this girl wants it. And that's some intangible that you cannot fucking teach in the gym. Like how bad somebody wants it. So, man, this fight, I was excited. You know, when Melissa did put her name in, I was a little nervous. I was like, man, I don't know if I have any girls. Like I know Alyssa she already fought Alyssa. And then I know Brian was talking to me about Tara, but like maybe having her wait. And then like we were able to put the fight together. I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like,
yes.
Because I know people are going to remember Melissa and Tara from just that cage as their last guy. They were people that they made fans at the last show. And
they're going to be.
We were already talking about the 4 girls on that card and some sort of round robin. And now like we kind of got something that came out of it. So I'm excited for this fight. If you weren't excited for any of the other fights on Cage Side 70, you know, Carter Whitty, Ash Rao, you know, Regiment's bringing a slew of guys. Hunter Brum's going to be making his debut. You know, we're trying to figure out something for Jordan Tavares. So here you go. Here's my pitch to anybody. 170-pounder or 165-pound catch weight. We're looking for something that wants to get in there with Jordan Tavares. So if you're listening and you got a teammate and you're looking to fight, get on this card, there's your shot. You can fight Jordan Tavares, 165, 170, a willing and able body to look at the scrap. So that's how you can get your foot in the door. All those people that message us on the DMs are like, how can I get into Cage Titans? How can I get on the next card? Here's how.
We got to
fight Jordan Tavares. You're in. Jordan Tavares, 2-2 out of Regiment Training Center. You can watch his last fight. He fought at the last Cage Titans. If you want to do your own research before you decide to take the fight, if you want it, we're looking for somebody. We need somebody. That's probably the last fight that I'm matching on this card. That's the only guy that kind of put his name in that I haven't been able to secure. And so if I can match that fight, that'd be great. So there's my pitch. There's my soapbox to you guys.
Tickets on sale.
Tickets on sale,
Tickettree,
yeah.
new website. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Carter, for calling in. Anything else?
New website is out, cagetitans.com. Go check it out. Cage Titans 70 tickets are on sale. Cagetitans.com. Tickets, physical tickets have come in. I met a few fighters, Joe Poirier, Miguel Chavez, and Jay Perrin today. Tomorrow I'm mailing out to all the rest of the fighters. So everybody will have tickets in hand. Don't wait. I say it all the time, and, do what you want, but don't wait to the last minute. The last shows have been selling out. Just hit up your favorite fighter, get your ticket, get them early. And, you don't want to be hitting them up the week of the fight. So just get your tickets early. Don't be left outside when you wait till the last minute and tickets end up selling out. So just get your tickets often, or get your tickets early. Get them from a fighter if you can. As much as I love the new website and I'd want you to get it from the website, get them from the fighter. They get a percentage. Amateur fighters aren't legally allowed to be paid, so they make their money off of ticket sales. So the more tickets they sell, and also it's just economics. The more tickets they sell, they're driving up their value as a fighter. In addition to their skill sets, they're driving up their value. So when they eventually do go pro, the demand for them is higher, which they can demand more money and things like that when they are legally able to get paid. So it's a helpful thing. And, I really push that. Help the fighters out. Get the tickets from the fighters if you can. And if you can't and you don't know somebody, you can always go to cagetitans.com.
CageTitans.com.
CageTitans.com. Or CageTitansFC.com if you want to see the old.
For a little while.
Go to CageTitansFC.com. And then go to cagetitans.com so you can see the difference in the two websites.
Like 30 years of website design difference.
There you go. And I hope you enjoyed the new poster, the Cage Titans Carnival. Yeah, as Jay Parent said, yeah, but only get the tickets from him. Get them from any of your favorite fighters. The Joker's on there. The Cage Titans Carnival. I didn't realize he has the MMA Madhouse. He's like, did you make this poster just for me? Because it's very Carnival Madhouse.
I like it.
So I said, Jay, I didn't, but for you, I'm going to start telling people I made it for you now. So
there we go.
There you go. Check out the Cage Titans Carnival. Cage Titans 70.
Here we go. We're into the
22nd.
70s. Let's get groovy.
Let's go. I'll throw that poster up one more time. We'll see you next week.